All right, guys. Friendly neighborhood surveyor, Southern California, and we got one more rainy day. I think today, Tuesday, is our last rainy day. Somebody commented about more things about surveying, which I agree, but give me some help on what you guys want to know because if I don't have the answer, I can find it. And this is something that my brother and I kind of came up with to kind of teach our guys or people that we talk to, kind of like the different phases, I guess, of surveying. Now we do primarily construction staking, so housing tracts, buildings, things like that. We do airport topos. We do a lot of stuff for like the school system and small city halls and stuff. So it is primarily construction staking. But the way we kind of describe it to our employees is that there's two main phases. So you have your design phase and your construction phase. I forgot one thing in here. Let me just write that down before I forget, and then we'll get back to it. Okay. Um, so as most of you guys know, or I hope you know, that before a job even starts, you normally do a boundary. And I would suggest, get yourself a small three-ring binder, print out, just Google what is a survey boundary. And it'll give a decent definition. Same thing with an ALTA, topo, what a benchmark is, stuff like that. And keep that stuff with you in the truck so that when you do a boundary, you're not blind. You can kind of interpret what your party chief is kind of going through. So let's just say the boundary is the first thing you do. You're going to be looking for monuments. You're going to be looking for everything that's being requested by the county or by the city to prove where that property is and its dimensions. So the more you know about how to perform the boundary, it starts making a lot more sense. Now, and again, in Southern California, our monumentation is different than what you would probably have in other states, and other states are different than us. But you work where you work, we work where we work, but a boundary is a boundary. So you have your boundary, you have your ALTA, American Land Title Association. Print that out and look at it because there's a lot of different things that can be requested with an ALTA. And so like for us a long time ago or a while back, elevations never really mattered. Now they're included with the ALTA. And what I tell our guys is we need to locate every structure within 5 feet of the property line. That's normally a standard. So fences, walls, any kind of concrete hardscape, driveways, stuff like that. And any on-site utilities. And then we normally locate utilities half street. And that's just because we normally will do some type of cross-section topo. So we already have that. And then we'll get to benchmark in a second. Then many times, if your job does not require a boundary, does not require an ALTA, maybe you're just doing like a parking lot revision or something, you're going to be doing some topos, you're going to be doing some cross-section work, and then establishing an elevation, transferring an elevation from a benchmark to your job site. And I'd say at a minimum, these four things right here are all part of the design phase. And that's what gives the engineer the information they need to design the job. And then for you, as long as you get the job, as long as you get the staking job, is to take the design plans or the design from the engineer and then apply it to the job site. Then that's done, or it's never really done, but it's done for the design phase. Then you have the construction phase. And this, I would say like if it's a housing tract, After we've done all this stuff, then we start putting out our control. And we term our first group of control points as our first generation. So that's normally as good as it starts is right here. And you can use GPS, or we use either GPS, and then we set up on the points, and we wrap angles. We do it in a way to where our control is good, and it's our first generation control, and everything set after that is set from these points. So you can have your second generation, third generation, because things do get wiped out along the way. But control is where you start. You have your best control at the beginning. Rough grade, if we're talking housing tracts or buildings or something like that, that we don't do a lot of rough grade right now. What we do out here in California is the graders request perimeter control and some points in the middle, and they just hook up their GPS and they grade it all. So once the rough grade has been done, then we do pad certifications, street certifications, stuff like that. So we've lost a lot of this work, at least out here, and we've made up for some of it with the certifications. And I think the certifications play a big part of making up for this work now, because everything's, we use data collectors and stuff like that. So all that stuff is stored, and you can get quantities a lot faster. Making sure that the streets were hogged out and that, everything fits. Everything fits. All the dirt's going to work. I'd say after certifications, then they're released to do the underground utilities, sewer, storm drain. We stake a lot of water, and it's just because over time, they used to just pull off curb, but we've had a problem with streets failing over the years. So now we do water, and we also stake dry utility crossings a lot more than we ever used to. So after all the utilities are put in, and we got street improvements, curb, gutter, stuff like that, house corners or building corners, and then after all the job is done, we have final monumentation, property corners, street intersections, stuff like that. But we try to explain it to our workers as there's a design phase, so know about what's all part of the design and what our intention is. And then we have our construction phase and what those intentions are as well. And again, things that we stake commonly now that we really never used to back in the 80s and 90s, or late 80s, is water. We get a lot of requests for hardscape, like sidewalks, and a lot of it has to do with ADA specifications. And since our lots are getting smaller and they're putting in these little parks and things like that, and also you can design with AutoCAD crazy stuff, but the guys that lay it out, they don't know how to lay it out, and it has to be per ADA specifications. We're doing a lot more hardscape stuff. And contract-wise, it's it's almost all an extra because we never bid for it, but the developer always wants it. Sidewalks, like decorative walls, picnic tables, things like that, barbecues, gas lines to those barbecues. It's added extra work, but it's work that I don't know. I'm not used to doing, and I'll do it kicking and screaming. But when we have a slow month, I like some of this work. Not so much anymore is rough grade. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the 20s and 80s, but we used to stake like on a property, on a lot. We'd stake 20-foot offset on PL and an 80-foot offset on PL on both sides. And then the people that would put the house in, they would just pull off those 20s and 80s because that'd be like our common setback out here is a 20-foot setback from the front PL. And, they have a line. Usually the house is parallel to one of the property lines, if it's not square. And, but they don't do that anymore. Now the lots have gotten so small that we stake building envelopes and then certify the forms afterwards. That makes sure that the setbacks are correct. And, you have your side yard, out here in California, we got like a 5 foot on one side. It could be a 10 foot on the other side minimum. But in a nutshell, when it comes to construction staking, that's the way we look at it. We have a design phase and a construction phase, and then some miscellaneous stuff in between. So that's it, man. Let me know if you have any questions and if there's anything else that I missed, or maybe we miss it here and you guys do something different. Let me know so we can approach it. Thanks. Survey out.